Human beings are social creatures. We are social not just in the trivial sense that we like company and not just in the obvious sense that we each depend on others. We are social in a more elemental way. Simply to exist as a normal human being requires interaction with other people. This particular statement is according to Atul Gawande, a best-selling author, surgeon, and a public health researcher. On the other hand, students go to school and study together with friends, fellow classmates, and teachers. Education makes them as one. They learn from each other from time to time they meet, discovering new things from each other, either it's part of the class or not. Students not only go to school with their friends, but also to satisfy their hungry brains, craving for new ideas and information. Undeniably, the social well-being of students was entirely changed due to the new normal way of learning. The physical interaction shifted to virtual interaction to continue the process of learning despite of the pandemic. Today, such learners can continue their education with a range of distance learning options. The above statements are the reasons why the researchers came up with a study entitled Social Well-Being of STEM 1 Aguilar Amidst the New Normal Learning for School Year 2020 and 2021.
This study aimed to determine the social well-being of STEM 1 Aguilar students in the current pandemic under the new normal learning system. Specifically, this study sought to know how does new normal learning change the social interaction of students and what are these specific changes? Does the social well-being affect the student's life in terms of study comfortability, effective learning, and building good relationship with peers? And is social well-being an important part of learning? This research focuses on the social well-being of STEM 1 Aguilar students in Marinduque National High School located in Malusakbak, Marinduque. The data gathering was through e-document surveys that were distributed through online means such as Facebook, Messenger, and Gmail.
Beneficiaries of the study are the students, parents, teachers, the curriculum planner, and the researchers. Any improvement of the new way of learning can help the students for better learning and social well-being to fully integrate themselves with the society. Parents will also be at ease and assured that their children aren't only gaining knowledge comfortably, but also improve their children's social well-being. Teachers may also discover the social well-being of their students amidst the new normal learning and be able to guide them efficiently. Being aware of social well-being of the students, curriculum planner can discover new and more efficient learning style in relation to improve social skills. As for the researchers, this study can be one of the bases for new discovery to gain a deeper understanding on the students' social well-being amidst the new normal learning.
Several processes were followed in order to come up with reliable results. The research design of this study falls under phenomenology, which focuses on the experiences of grade 11 STEM 1 Aguilar students. The respondents of the study is the grade 11 STEM 1 Aguilar students from Marinduque National High School. The researcher made a questionnaire and distributed to the respondents through online, which served as the research instrument. The sampling technique that is used in our study is purposive sampling, providing the best and most accurate response for our research study. To gather the necessary data needed in our study, we used purposive sampling and distributed the questionnaire to several students through online like Facebook Messenger. The researcher used descriptive statistics to identify the result of the questionnaire. The primary data gathered were tallied and analyzed for the interpretation of the respondents' answers, and the secondary data used cross-reference to better interpret the data.
The results of the data gathering are presented in 6 graphs. In graph 1, it shows the changes between the traditional and the new normal learning. Majority scaled 45.5%, which represents the limited phase interaction. 36.4% responded that there is much longer and meaningful interaction in the traditional learning. In both scaled 9.1%, for only virtual interaction and communication are allowed, and for those who can't decide. In graph 2, it shows what students prefer, either the new normal learning or the traditional one. 81.8% represents the students who prefer the traditional face-to-face learning, and 18.2% preferred the interaction of the new normal learning. On the other hand, the graph number 3 shows the students' comfortability under the new normal learning. Students who responded that they're uncomfortable scaled 90.9%, while 9.1% responded that they do not feel discomfort.
As you can see in the figure 4, 100% of the respondents believe that social well-being is related in effective learning as a student. In figure 5, the graph shows that 90.9% of the respondents perceive that well-being contribute to healthy relationship and interaction with peers of their other classmates, while the remaining 9.1% thinks otherwise. In figure 6, the graph shows how 45.5% of the students improve their communication and social skills, which is essential as a person. 36.4% believe that social well-being helps them to become an active and positive student, while the 18.2% said that they are more eager to learn with their classmates around them. The figure implies that there are several positive benefits of social being that fulfills and contributes in the accomplishment and goal of a student.
The common problems encountered by the students during the new normal learning are the difficulties in distance learning, and some of the students encounter poor connection, especially on the rural places. The students are having a hard time balancing personal responsibilities such as household chores, part-time jobs, with school works in the new normal learning. Despite of the pandemic we are facing, social bonds must be maintained through social communication in order to still create a relationship and interaction with others. They connect with each other with the use of social media platforms like Google Meet, Facebook, Messenger, and etc.
The findings of this study gave rise to a clearer understanding and apprehension regarding on how the new normal learning changed the social interaction of students. In new normal learning, changes such as limited face-to-face interaction, only virtual interaction and communication are allowed. Much longer and meaningful interaction in the traditional way of learning arise, and some of the students can decide about this matter. Based from the discussed findings and its graphical presentations, the social well-being uncovered by grade 11 STEM students does indeed affect a student's life amidst the new normal learning. Despite being used to online interactions, students still have their preferences in terms on how comfortable they are, if the learning strategy works for them, and if they are able to build and maintain good relationship with peers. It was found out that social well-being influences students' overall performance, specifically in both social and academic, which is supported by the majority of the respondents that social well-being can actually build healthy relationship and interaction with others. It is said to contribute well to the participants' interaction and communication skills, which is beneficial through students' academic and personal life. Respondents highlight various difficulties that prevents them in forming social bonds and relationship with peers and classmates in the virtual learning, such as personal and technical difficulties. Despite of the challenges, most of the student respondents believe that social well-being is still a must and will always be a part of effective and meaningful learning. Through internet and the virtual environment, students participate in social interaction and still manage to cultivate the community of students which shares ideas, interests, bonding, and most important is the study-related concerns despite of the changes and adaptations under the new normal learning. There are some students that amidst these difficulties maintain healthy social relationships. To sum all of this, a healthy and balanced social life must be maintained for effective and meaningful learning for students.
The researchers recommend the use of psychological well-being scale for a more standardized estimation of the well-being of students. Studying the respondents through interviews and surveys are also recommended for the nonverbal actions for a more accurate result. The use of valid questionnaires, interviews, and observations collectively increases the validity of research.